And she's like, well, Andre, the videos is nice, but you didn't mention me in one of your episodes. Hello, everyone. This is Andre with the Yes to Real Estate podcast. Super excited to have you today. We have some great information, a special guest for you today. So big shout out to my lovely wife, Joanne Barad. This is for you, sweetheart. I love you. Also, Chase and Skylar, for my kids. Super excited to have them in our life. Also, I am the first vice president of YRD, which is the Young Realtist Division. And our goal and mindset is to educate and inform young adults, teenagers about investing in real estate. Also, I'm a part of CR Elite. Big shout out to Rayvon and Janelle. And the team and I is on pace to do $30 million in transactions, Janet.
Incredible.
Yeah, thank you. $30 million in transaction this year. So big shout out to the team. Big shout out to the marketing team, Voss and Jenny and Michael. Thank you guys for your dedication. Big shout out to Diamond, our transaction coordinator, and she just been promoted to overseeing new construction. So
oh wow!
GC work.
Okay, yes, Diamond, we see you.
And also big shout out to Mariah, our buyer's agent, and then my partners when it comes to Javon and also Ashley. You know, we do a lot of deals together as well. So super excited to have you here today. We have a special guest all the way from
Rhode Island.
Yes. The row. Yes. So today
hopefully that catches on.
Yeah. We have Janet. Welcome, Janet.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Happy to be here.
How do you feel to be back in Houston?
I love Houston. I love Rhode Island, but Houston is like getting up there on the list, you know? So it's my third time here this year. Yes. Very exciting.
That is amazing. And each time it gets better and better, right?
It does. Yes. It does.
Awesome. So Janet, so the millions of people watching, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. Like you said, my name is Janet DaSilva. I am COO of EYL University, and I'm super excited to be here because this podcast teaches people and empowers people to learn about investing and real estate. And that's one of our core values at EYL University. And I'm excited to partner and share my journey and encourage you guys as well.
Wow, I love it. And let me tell everyone, EYLU is an amazing platform. Educate, inform. And I remember joining and being a part of it. And every time I go, I meet great people, great information. And here's the thing. People are opening up their knowledge and information to share. Yeah. It's no holding back on EYLU.
Yeah. And that's actually how we met.
Yes. So how did we meet?
Yeah. So we met through EYL University. Yeah. You joined in, what year was it?
I think it's been 3 years ago.
Okay.
Because I remember I came in at a good introduction rate.
Oh yeah, me too. Shout out to all of us that joined in the beginning.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I think I paid like $149 for the year.
Yeah.
But it's so much bigger and we have staff and things now, so it makes sense that the price goes up. But
absolutely.
We met through EYL University. My phone just dropped. And, we started to share about real estate. I know you were really sharing a lot and giving. And I know we started to have regional groups and the Houston group grew a lot.
Yeah.
Then I came down here earlier this year to meet you in person, meet some of the other earners in person. And it's just been really a great experience connecting and sharing. I know I called you just a week ago, I believe, so a week and a half ago about a real estate deal that, just trying to get information and make sure I'm doing things the right way. So just like we're friends in person, not only just business wise. And that's the cool thing about, I think where we are as a community is we realize that we really do need each other to make the changes we want to see.
Yes.
And it's more than just about building my business or your business. It's like, how can we help each other? Because there's no way around it really. If we really want to see a change, we have to all care,
That is 100% correct. I know when we first met and we first spoke, shout out to King Arthur.
Yes.
Shout out to the EYL alumni that's here, that's watching. The millions of EYL Houston alumni, Ashanti and Adarius.
Oh, they're amazing.
And I remember when we first spoke and you just pouring into us the knowledge and the wisdom that you have learned. It meant a lot to us, that someone on your level would pour into us with the knowledge and information. How important it is that you pour into the people as from your leadership role.
I mean, I think that's the goal. I mean, I don't even see levels.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you're out, and there's the levels we're talking about. Like, you're doing amazing things. So
thank you.
I think I don't know. It's a part of, like I said, a core value. So it would only make sense that in this role that I would reflect what UL University is about.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, everyone is sharing. So as I share, you share. I get a gem from you. You know what I mean? We're all growing together.
Yeah.
So as I share, I learn.
Yes.
So.
Oh, I love that. As you share, you learn.
Yeah.
So you only pouring out what you have learned from others and what you have learned by going through different challenges.
Yeah, and there's no shame in not knowing. That's the cool thing about EY University too. There's no shame. You can say, "Oh no, I haven't heard that, or I haven't seen that." So someone else that you just met, is sending an article to you, and we're all learning together. And they might be younger than you. Yeah, they might be in their 70s. Shout out to Carol. She's an earner. Yes, she's incredible, and she's just trading options. I think she's getting into futures now, and she's in her 70s. Wow! Like it doesn't matter how matter how old you are. Like if you want to learn, there's a space for you, and I'm always willing to learn.
Wow, that's amazing, Janet. You're so down to earth. You have done so much for the EYLU community. For you and Magna to travel, to come and to edify and to educate people here in Houston is truly a blessing. And as a community, we don't take it lightly at all. So I want to go into, because people see you now, they see the Janet, the glam, the glitz, right? the Janet, I can't. But I always love to talk about the progression. Yeah. Right. How did you get to this stage? How did you become the Janet COO of EYLU? Give us a little history lesson.
Sure, yeah, definitely. So I've always been big on podcasting and learning. I listen to podcasts all throughout the day. Yeah. And so when I stumbled on Earn Your Leisure's podcast, I fell in love with it. I was sharing it with my family and friends. Yeah. So I love that it was this information from our perspective that, speaking in a language that we understood. Yeah. And so, so I started listening to that. And I remember I would share things with friends and they just looked blank faced. They didn't care. It's okay. Everybody's on their own journey. Right. But I really wanted to be around people that were just excited to learn as I was, So I joined UL University for that reason. Yeah. It was right when pandemic just, started and we were all quarantined at home. Yeah. So I just threw myself into UL University, reading the books, watching the movies, having the conversations. And I felt like it was everything I'd been looking for. Yeah. Because there's a lot going on in our communities, like I mentioned, and it just seems really daunting. And I had my MBA, so I was in these classrooms with all these white kids. Yeah. No shade to anybody. Yeah. But your teacher's not teaching you in a way that you're gonna feel it. As I was feeling it in our book club discussions and things like that. Yeah. So I just, I was working at Fidelity Investments at the time. Had no intentions of leaving my job. I just really loved helping, and I was like, oh, we need a schedule, and we need this, we need that. So I just started doing it. And the guys were just getting busier and busier. They're like, yeah, go ahead, do that. Yeah, go ahead, do this. And I'm here now on your podcast, but this is very not the most comfortable thing for me, being in front of people.
You make it look easy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So I remember literally writing down everything I would say and reading it just simple thoughts, because I just get really nervous. Yeah. But they really encouraged me, no, you got this, go ahead. Troy would be like, oh no, you're doing orientation. I'm like, what? Yeah. I created the orientation guide, but I figured one of them would be presenting it. So they really pushed me to speak up, and it was just really an amazing experience for me. I grew so much in such a short amount of time because I was put in these positions, and I'm like, okay, I practiced a lot, finally got to the place where I didn't need notes. Yeah. I still do that sometimes, just sort of remember where I want to go, but not because I'm scared my mind is going to go blank. Yeah. Yeah. So I joined, and I just got passionate about it and excited. And as they grew, they needed help, and I just happened to be at the right place at the right time, really. Wow.
So, okay, let's break it down. So you came into EYLU. Yeah. You came with value. You see, it was a space for you to add value and didn't expect anything in return. So you came in, it's like, we need this, we need this. Let me do it. Yeah. Let me add the value. Let me feed the people the information and knowledge that I know, so we can help push the mission forward. So you added value. And what happens when you add value and not expect anything in return? People see it.
God sees it. I couldn't have imagined this. Really, I couldn't have. And
then by you doing it and being consistent with it, the Lord seen it, people seen it, and then you created a position that wasn't there. Yeah. Based on your giving. Yeah. Wow, that's powerful. So after you was consistent with what you was doing, the guys came to you and offer you a position. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. So it was after our first orientation. MG texted me the next morning.
Now, I'm sorry. Who are the guys?
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Troy and Rashad. Yes, shout out Troy of Earn Your Leisure, and Mike McDonald. That is also one of the leaders, but he's more on the back end, but he does a lot. Mike. Yeah, shout out to Mike and MG, the mortgage guy. Yes. Amazing. Shout out MG. So them four together are the founders of EY University. So. Okay. Yeah, so MG, the mortgage guy, called me after our first ever orientation. It was October 2020. And he said, that was amazing. I can't believe that. Like, you just led a call with 600 people. Like, oh, wow, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I want to hire you for his company, mortgage company. And I was like, okay. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to send you the offer letter. Da, da, da. So then I was like, cool. So he sends it to me. I'm like thinking about it, reviewing it. And the next day he calls me, change the plans. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, oh yeah, the guy said I can't take you away from EY University. So then they offered me a role. Wow. And I started December 1st of that year. Wow.
So now you're operating as COO of EYLU. Yeah. Can you give us some of, I guess, the pros and the challenges you have faces with this new position?
Sure, yeah. So in the beginning, I just kind of did more admin work. But as the guys got busier, they're like, hey, can you schedule our Wednesdays? Can you speak to these professors? So as months went on, I was doing more and more and more. And then I'm at the point pretty much everything goes through me or Magda. Yeah. So it's just kind of, they grew so fast. So then I'm just like, okay, taking that on. And then we're taking this on, Yeah. So that's kind of how it happened. It just kind of grew into the role. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
So as you grew, you hired help to help you. Yeah. So who is this special person that you speak of?
Shout out to Magda Delgado with her camera. Taking footage of me now. I really appreciate her. Absolutely. She actually, very similar, reached out months before we hired her. And she was like, hey, I'm available for the next few weeks to help if you guys need anything. And it was perfect timing because after she started helping, a week into it, I got COVID. And so I was out for 3 weeks and she just stepped in. Yeah. Then I was getting slammed, emails, meetings every single day. It was intense. And I was like, guys, I need help. I can't do this. And Magda posted that she was leaving her job, right? So I screenshot it. I went in a group text. I was like, now was the time. And so, I really appreciated her because she just helped without a motive. And that's probably the toughest part of my job right now is, the guys are celebrities. Yeah. And so a lot of people reach out all the time. And there's always there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. I think we should all help each other grow, but it's not always as, I don't want to say genuine. I'm still figuring it all out, to be honest. Yeah. But, it's just nice when someone just wants to help just because they want to help. Yes. And so that was really great, and it's been an amazing journey. She'll actually be a year with us in 2 weeks. So awesome. Congrats to Magda. Yeah, it's been great, and I've had some people tell me "Wow, your assistant's really great." It doesn't always work out like that the first try, but I think observing people and just people that naturally want to help. Yeah, kind of helps. Instead of just I don't know.
No, that's excellent. So you made a transition. You offer value, right? The EYL, you seen the value it was offering. Mm-hmm. You did a lot of things because you wanted to push the brand to the next level. Because of that, they seen the opportunity in you to hire you on as a COO. Yeah, you became the COO. Yeah. Now you hit with a different challenge of the growth. Yeah. Right. So now you're trying to figure out the guys are growing. Yeah. I'm growing also. I'm being pulled on in different directions. And then you realize I need help. Yeah. So you realize you needed help. You hired someone who can help. Mm-hmm. Now this person, shout out to Magda, who came and brought value beyond your expectation. Right. Now she has taken some of the baggage and some of she pretty much took some of the wear and tear from you and took it on from herself. so you can focus on things to push the brand forward.
Yeah.
So would you say having the right team and partners is very crucial to go to the next level?
Absolutely. Because I think if you have people that are just focused on the mission, you don't have to worry about like the politics and stuff. You can just really just get to work.
Yeah.
And that's really great.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a mom. She wrote a book. We're all doing things that we learn at EYL University.
Yeah.
And we just make it work with each other's schedules. And it's been really amazing.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by Middle Housing Design with Garland Harris. If you're looking for great architectural plans with an expert who understands what the city is looking for and have experience with building also, look no further than Garland Harris. Also, this episode is brought to you by Yard Delights with Calvin and April Bouton. If you want to maximize the visibility of your home with yard signs, look no further than Yard Delights. Now let's get back to cultivating community. Yes. And I think that's what brought you and I closer, because I began to build rapport and relationship with King Arthur, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to King Arthur.
Shout out to King Arthur.
And we was just pouring into each other, just pouring. And he would say, man, you need to meet Janet, man. She's doing the same thing you're doing. She want to get into this and that.
Yeah.
And then we build a great rapport relationship, genuine relationship. I would have never imagined that you would be here next on the Yes to Real Estate podcast, sharing the knowledge, because it was just, let's eat and let's share with each other.
Yeah, I mean, Arthur was one of my first accountability partners. So he really knows the whole projection of, my journey with EYL, because when we became partners, I wasn't even working for EYL University yet. So, it was just, I refinanced my mortgage. I started, investing in stocks, and I made it automated. Those are the things I was talking about with my accountability partners.
Yeah.
We were sharing stocks that we wanted to look at, and this met the entry price, that was our conversations. And then all of a sudden I got offered a job. So he really knows the whole journey.
Yeah.
And it's nice that, we're still super cool to this day.
Yes.
And I met you through him. So that's just a really testament of community. I think that's one of the biggest values of EYL University is the community.
Right. So speaking of EYLU community, how can we join? What are the options of someone becoming a member?
So you can go to EYLUniversity.com and sign up. And the cool thing about it is we have 2 classes a week on investing. Shout out to Chris Munoz. He's incredible. Yes, blows us away every week. I don't know how he does it. I think he's a robot. Yeah. I really do. There's no way. He's into all these different investings. He works for Microsoft. So it's really great to have him leading our classes. And then we have Wednesday night classes every week on random different topics pertaining to investing. Yeah. We've had people come and talk about building your own books, writing your own books, and what else? With mental health, all different types of things that we can really help to support the community. Yeah. And then we have clubs that are just relaunched, which I'm so excited about. We have an investing club. We have a 50+ club. So if you're a mature earner, as we like to call them.
How about you mature earners?
Mature earners. Listen, they are the most amazing people. They're investing, they're trading, they're doing all these really cool things. And there really is no age limit. If you want to build generational wealth, you can start today, literally. Yes. And so you're going to meet a lot of people that are on that same journey that want to help you. And what other clubs? We have a lot of clubs. I can't think right now.
So pretty much just go to EYLUuniversity.com and
go to
you can
our website.
Look at everything up.
Exactly. We have monthly calls with Rashad. So if you want to learn about financial planning from an actual financial advisor, he's there and helps people through that. 2-hour class we have once a month. MG the mortgage guy also teaches classes. And then we have our book and movie club. Shout out to Greg Millings. Yeah. It's a lot of really great information. Yeah. And I think I was one of the guests on the EYLU. Yes. We talked about how important it is to have a team. Right. Yeah. So that was one of my favorite. It really was. Yeah. And I'm not just saying that. It really was, because it really touched my heart, because it's wow, this earner, it's not someone out there. We watched your journey, and then you're teaching in class. It was just such a full circle, amazing moment.
After I logged off, I started crying.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so excited and thankful. So real estate, why is real estate important to you?
Real estate is incredible. And the cool thing about real estate is no matter what the market is doing, if you have a property that's cash flowing, you know what I mean? And you've looked at the different numbers, it's to me can be a little less risk it's a little less risk than the market.
Yeah.
Of course, when you're investing in stocks, they're a lot more liquid.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get in and out. Real estate is not so easy in that sense,
Right.
but I'm really grateful for real estate because I do feel like it just feels like a sure bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I'm real big on real estate, and we talk about deals a lot.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is the difference between, stocks and rentals?
What do you mean, like Airbnb kind of rentals?
No, like stock market or Airbnb rentals. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing for me has been the consistency of like my rentals when we sign a lease. I mean, there's risk there too.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thank God I haven't had any crazy experiences, but the money is just a lot more consistent.
Yeah.
Stocks, they go up and down, as we know. So,
Yes.
I mean, if you're looking at it long term, that's great. But for more like immediate money, you can do real estate like that as well. Maybe just hold on to it for the equity purposes. But for me, it's been more of a way to make extra income.
Yes.
So I really enjoy it for that part.
Awesome. Would you say real estate is important for generation wealth as well?
I think so, because they're not making any more land. So, like as you own land, you see the values are always going to go up.
Yes.
And it's really nice to say that you own a part of your community.
Yes.
I think that kind of makes you feel proud.
Yeah.
Where you're coming from.
Right.
So, there's a lot of reasons why real estate is just so powerful.
Yeah. Speaking of generation wealth, we sold our old home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we was there for 5 years, right? So when a person says, "Oh, I get into real estate later," and 2 or 3 years pass, here's a great example. We bought our home for $270,000 5 years ago, right? Shout out to Chase. He was about a couple months old. We moved to our home, and we just recently sold it for $365,000.
Wow.
So if you're looking at $95,000 to $100,000 worth of equity in 5 years.
Yeah.
So what could you think about it? What could $100,000 do for someone?
Do a lot.
You can change the trajectory of a person's generation if you do the right thing with it.
Right.
So that's a prime example of why real estate and generation wealth is important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is what I want to tap into next, is because this is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you're doing amazing with it.
Thank you.
Let's tap into short-term and mid-term rentals.
Yes.
First, can you give us the definition of what short-term, mid-term rentals?
Sure.
is?
So a short-term rental is anything less than 30 days. So a lot of your Airbnbs might fall into that, category if you just stay for a weekend or maybe a week, something like that. Mid-term rentals are anything from like a month to less than a year.
Okay. Okay. Can you give us an example of what would someone label as a mid-term or a short-term?
Sure. So short term for me is like my Airbnb. I had a lot of people come this summer. So spending the weekend, like I said, or maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then they're off to the next place.
Right.
Midterm rentals, a lot of like my travel nurses are midterm rentals. So they'll stay 3, 6 months, maybe 9 months, things like that.
Whoa. You're not just going to brush over that. Okay. Travel nurses.
Yeah.
And they stay 3 months, 6 months, maybe 9 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
So explain to us, how does that work? Explain the concept, and how do you market to nurses?
Yeah. So I use furnishedfinder.com.
One more time.
Furnished with an ED, furnishedfinder.com.
Okay.
And it's about $100 to make a listing for the year. And then if you want to add other units, I believe it's like $10 or $20 to add. So I have 2 units on there now. And then I had tenants move out of the second floor, and that quickly became my third rental because a travel nurse reached out and I didn't have space. And I'm like, I do have a unit, but it's not furnished yet. If you give me like a week. And I turned that was a lot of work. I don't recommend doing that. It was crazy. But I had some couches that my friend was giving away. She was buying new furniture and they were really great shape. So I snatched those up for free and put them in storage. So I already had that ready to go. And then I got a table off Facebook Marketplace, bought new mattresses, all that stuff, and just turned the place around. And I had them in there within a week. It was a lot of work. So that one's actually not on Airbnb or another website because I didn't have time, but I had someone that reached out and they're there now. And so they paid me for the 3 months up front.
3 months up
Which
front.
is the great part about travel nurses. They sent me their contracts, their RN number. I looked it up, and every state has a website where you can look up the RN number. So you have to know what state.
That's a nugget. Yes. That's a gem.
Yeah. So you have to know what state they're registered in. And then you just Google, and it's normally like a .gov or some sort of website, and you look up their number, their name comes up, their date of birth, everything like that. So I love it because it's all that money up front, and also they're here for work. It's not like someone coming to, just to relax or party, which can have a little bit more risk. But my Airbnb, though, I haven't had any crazy situations. I only accept people with good reviews. If this is your first time staying in Airbnb, you will not be staying with me. I just don't want to take any risks.
I love that.
And I also am not the cheapest Airbnb. So that has really...
I love that as well.
Yeah. That really kept me from having a lot of crazy situations. My guests have been amazing. I'm all 5 stars. I've never gotten less than a 5-star review.
Yes.
In my 16 months doing it. Yeah. And I really love doing it.
Awesome. You tapped on something with your your midterm nurse. You said you do a contract.
Yeah.
Can you explain to us what's the reason for the well, I know the reason, but for the millions of people, what's the reason for the contract, and what are some of the languages or terms that you have on the contract for the nurses?
Sure. Yeah. So the reason why I have a contract, even with Airbnb, if someone stays more than 28 days, I make them sign a lease. Just because, of the laws, squatter laws, things like that. That's
powerful. So that's another gem, everyone.
So you really want to just protect yourself because you might not be able to get someone out. So I make them sign a lease with the exact dates that they'll be there. With my travel nurses, I provide a deep cleaning once a month. And the reason why I do that is just to make sure that they're keeping my place nice, things like that. So you'll be
able to go inside and check around to make sure everything's fine.
Make sure everything's good. And that helps with turnover. So when people leave, it's not like you're setting up the whole apartment all over again, things like that. I also do that with Airbnb. If I have people staying more than a week, they get more cleanings just because it makes me feel more comfortable knowing that the place is in tip-top shape and all that kind of stuff. So I take really good care of my place, really good care of my tenants. I remember in May, we had like a random really hot weekend and my 3rd floor unit gets really, really hot. And then my Airbnb guest was like, how do I turn the AC on? And I have to put window units in Rhode Island. So in this house, this house was built in 1901. So So I'm like, oh crap. And I actually had COVID at the time. My brother and my dad went over and put the AC units in, but I gave them a credit because of that. And she was like, oh no, you turned it around in like 2 hours. But I'm really big on customer service and make people feel like, they're always getting value, even if it was May. That's not normal for having to have heat wave kind of thing. But I'm really big on making sure my tenants feel,
Because I was about to ask you, how do you maintain your 5-star review, but just you giving your testimony?
And my housekeepers, shout out to them. I do I'm really big on detail, so I make sure that everything is tip top shape. We wash everything, the curtains, everything gets washed. Between guests. And
so adding more value than what they paid for. The cleaning, the attention to detail, the customer service. If someone call or have something, you are on it right away.
I have 100% response rate. So it's basically they're not even waiting more than 5 minutes. I have 2 co-hosts. So anything they write to me, there's a response right away. So you go over and beyond. It's amazing. That's amazing. Amazing, Janet. And you started off. So how many do you have right now? I have 3.
So 3.
Okay.
The last time you came to,
I had 1.
You had 1.
The last 2 I've added in the last 5 months.
Wow.
Prior to that, I had long-term tenants, which were also really great. It was a hard decision to make, to not renew the lease and do that. But at the same time, I just feel like the job market's interesting right now. I don't want to be locked into anything. And this kind of gives you really great flexibility. Also, when I have family in town, I always let them stay and they love that too. So it's nice to, have a space. My brother had he rents a spot and there was mold issues. And it was oh, well, I can make sure I have a spot for you until you figure, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's always really nice.
Right. So what would you recommend if someone wanted to get into midterm, short-term rental? Where should they start?
So, I mean, if you don't have your own building like I do, I mean, I guess you can do rental arbitrage. I've never done that before, but I would say maybe co-host with someone that already does Airbnb to just learn about it. And then you can say, you know, I'm a co-host of a successful Airbnb. Here are all the reviews, you know, so that when you go to a landlord, they can trust you, hopefully, to have a space.
Yeah.
And then when you furnish it, don't spend a lot of money. I had someone call me the other day, like, oh, I spent $16,000, and they're ready in the negative in their business. I mean, it's fine if you're going to have a really nice place, but you can get some really decent stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Of course, mattresses, certain things, just buy brand new.
Yeah.
But like, if you can get a nice couch, you know, what's the big deal? Like, you know, it can be used as long as, you know, stuff like that. So don't spend too much money. And obviously, if the place, make sure you would want to stay there.
Yes.
If you don't want to stay there, then don't put it up anywhere, you know? But, yeah, I think be realistic, be honest with people, and, you know, you should get good reviews.
Awesome. Man, it's amazing, Janet. Because I was about to ask you, how can people find you?
Yeah,
so have any questions? Yeah,
sure. You can find me at I am Janet DaSilva. That's my Instagram. So at I am Janet DaSilva, JanetDaSilva.
Awesome. So Janet, for the millions of people watching on the Yes to Real Estate podcast, we always want to end with a thoughtful message, something that's going to penetrate the mind.
Yes.
The brain, right?
Okay.
What would you share with the millions of people? Janet, one last thing. What can you share with the people?
I would say that no matter what you decide to do, there probably is going to be a part in the beginning where it's not easy. You know, I'm still looking for my next property, and that's been a journey. And I sometimes feel like I know it's not a waste of time, but when you go to a property, it doesn't work, or you put in an offer and it doesn't work, and you got a million other things on your plate, it just feels like, you know, what am I doing? But just keep grinding, keep going, and it's going to work out. Whether it's stocks or real estate or a mix of the two, just stay focused on your goal. And when you have those tough days, understand that it's not going to last forever.
I love it, Janet. I love it. Janet, we really look up to you. You are truly amazing, you and your team.
Thank you.
You guys are doing amazing things, and to be here in Houston, sharing your knowledge and your wisdom, we truly thank you for that.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So thank you once again for joining the Yes to Real Estate podcast. I want everyone to take this time and to really think about your next level. Janet did a great job about explaining her progress and her growth. And I want to challenge you today, the millions of people who's watching. Thank you for saying yes to the process. Thank you for saying yes to persistent. Janet elaborated on so thoughtfully. And thank you for saying yes to loving the process, understanding that it's not going to be smooth. Also, thank you for saying yes to real estate. See you at the top. Hello, everyone. This is Andre Barra with the Yes to Real Estate podcast. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like, and check out our other episodes right here on the Community Cultivator Network and the Yes to Real Estate podcast. See you at the top.